Hello and welcome to episode 178 of Controller Club, the friendly face gaming space, a podcast where three friends from three continents share in one love, and that is video games. On today's show, GTA 6 has been delayed, Marvel 1943 has also been delayed, and we're going to celebrate the 25th anniversary of the PS2 with a PlayStation 2 Hall of Fame. But before all that, let's introduce ourselves today. My name is Kleinfeld, and alongside me today, as always, are two of my best friends in the whole wide gaming world. First, coming to us from across the pond, it is the digital art daredevil himself, Tom Drew. Tom, how you doing?
I'm doing good. Yeah, I'm feeling a little bit nostalgic today because the PS2 was my first ever home console, and looking back at all these PS2 games, I was like, oh yeah, I remember that. Like, there's so many that I just completely forgotten about, so I can't wait to dive into all of them and just hash out all these weird and wonderful games that the PS2 had.
25 years. I can't believe it. Makes me feel quite old. Next up, it is journalist extraordinaire, the Australian abroad slash the Canadian in training, Lauren Rouse. Lauren, what's going on? How are things?
Things are good. Yeah, similarly, I have a similar nostalgia to Tom for the PS2. It wasn't my first home console because my uncle had a PS1 in the house, so that was my entry point to gaming. But I think the PS2 was the first one that was mine, so I am excited for us to relive this together.
Yes, we'll be doing that. We'll be breaking down the PS2 for its 25th anniversary, picking the best games, putting together a Hall of Fame. But before we get to do that, there's been some big news over the last week or so. Let's get into it with the news we choose. Tom Drew, give us that news jingle.
It's the news we choose. Yeah.
We'll start with me. The biggest news of the week, GTA 6 has been delayed again. This is coming from John Hicks at gamesindustry.biz. Take-Two Interactive has delayed GTA 6 for a second time, moving next year's biggest release back 6 months to November 19th, 2026. The news was revealed in the company's earnings release, which said that this was, quote, giving the team some additional time to finish the game with the high level of polish players expect and deserve. Rockstar has our full support, of course, and we are confident that they will deliver an unrivaled blockbuster entertainment experience, end quote. In an interview with GamesIndustry.biz, Take-Two Interactive CEO Strauss Zelnick would not commit to this being the final delay, but said he was, quote, confident in the date. That's why we said it, end quote. Quote, we are trying very hard to deliver the most extraordinary interactive entertainment experience ever created. Rockstar and we are aligned on that. We're feeling really good about it, he said. Quote, as you know, occasionally across our entire company, including 2K and our mobile business, at times more time is required to polish a title to ensure that it's released in the best possible form. And of course, it'll release in the same fiscal year as the prior date, end quote. This is the second official delay of the game, which was originally announced in December 2023 for a release in 2025. In May, Rockstar delayed release until May 26, 2026, with Take-Two Interactive CEO Strauss Zelnick telling IGN at the time that, quote, I think historically, when we set a specific date, generally speaking, we've been very good at reaching it, end quote. When this happened, 2K stock took a huge dip. I'd say it is at a record low for 2025 at least. There are a few little tidbits that we've gotten about this delay as the days have gone on since it was officially announced. I think it was Tom Henderson over at Insider Gaming. He's very well sourced, especially when it comes to Rockstar stuff, has said that reportedly this game is content ready. It is finished. Development is finished. It is just polishing that they've been doing. And apparently it has been content ready for quite some time. So they're really trying to make sure that this thing is up and running, putting its best foot forward when they do eventually release it. But I want to ask you guys, what are your thoughts on the delay? And are you at all surprised that this was moved again from May to November? Tom?
I mean, to be honest, a little bit. I thought when they had set that May date, I thought they would, at the time, confident that they would meet that, and I was kind of confident too that that wouldn't be shifted at all. But yeah, I'm a little bit shocked that it is going to be November now. I know that a lot of people that I know, like in real life, are kind of disappointed by this news. Obviously, like a lot of people are waiting for this game and waiting to buy new consoles for this game. I know my flatmate wants to buy a PS5. But after hearing this news, he's like, "Oh, maybe I will just wait until next November now because I want it for GTA 6 and it's not going to be here until November." So, I'm of two minds of it. I get the disappointment because obviously they, for so long, we didn't know when the game was coming, and then they set a date on it, and now it's not being it's not coming when they kind of promise, sort of thing, which I do kind of empathize with. But at the same time, like I think Rockstar can't afford for this game to come out and not be like perfect in like every aspect. It needs to run well. It needs like the content, as you said, client seems to be ready. I'm sure they're confident in that. But I think if they if they need more time to germinate, good. I mean, Tears of the Kingdom did a very similar thing. Like the last year of that game's development was just polished, and like the game was like better for it. Like it ran amazingly on release, and like it's a beloved game. So, uh, yeah, it sucks, but I think this needed to happen if it's not going to be ready by the time May rolls around.
I think that the billions of dollars would have been there in May for like coming in. They will be there in November as well. I don't think that this really affects the game all that much. If you want to take the extra time, sure, 2K is going to take a bit of Take-Two is going to take a bit of a stock hit right now, but it's like the things you do so that you can have a huge spike when this game does eventually come out. But Lauren, what do you think? Are you surprised at all that this got moved from May to November? And how do you feel about this November date? This is like right at the end of what will be like review season next year.
Yeah, I think I was the person who was very confident at first in Rockstar when they set the original 2025 date. And obviously that was delayed a while ago. So my trust in them has kind of been shattered because, I know that they have a long history with this of like Red Dead Redemption experienced similar delays, as did pretty much all GTAs before this. But yeah, I think this second delay, I'm not convinced that this will be the last one. However, I was surprised that they were making the choice so far out from May, like that it's coming basically 6 months ahead of May, and they know at this point like it's not going to be ready. We need basically a whole year from now to get this right. So I would like to think that like they've set it so far ahead that gives them plenty of breathing room, that maybe it'll end up being done in September or something, and then they've actually just got a bit of time to like sit with it and like get it ready to like market and things like that. So it's really going to hit whatever date. What did they say? November. What's the specific date?
19th. November 19th, 2026.
Yeah.
A week
and I
before
think
Black Friday.
Well, that's pretty telling. I think definitely putting it that far back in the year, I'm not too like I don't really care when they release it because it's going to do well no matter what day they release it on. I'm just more interested in how this affects the rest of the industry and where the rest of the games land after this. Like already we were looking at certain games like Wolverine is the back half of next year. Like quite a few like big tentpole games were sort of aiming for that like kind of fall slot, and now you wonder whether they'll try what will they do, because it's harder to pull a game forward. So they either just stick to that date and try and get enough clearance from GTA now, or they delay into 2027 probably.
I think that this date, November 19th, 2026, is about as good of a date you could have for the industry as a whole, because it is like that is about as late of a tentpole release as you're going to get. Sure, Nintendo does some stuff in December, but it's rare that a big game comes out in December. Usually it is before that Black Friday date. So if this had been October or if this had been September, then you're going to have people like Wolverine. You're going to have, I don't think Call of Duty would think about it, but you would have these big games have to at least wonder, oh, do we delay to next year? Do we push it forward? But having this like right at the end of that busy season, I think you're going to have enough clearance of like a month earlier, maybe we get Wolverine, and a few weeks earlier we get whatever, we don't know, Marvel 1943, which we're about to talk about. I think that they almost did the industry a favor by putting it this late, because yeah, if it had been September, the next 2 months of like conversation is just going to be focused on GTA 6. Whereas now it's like, okay, middle of November, you have right through to the 2027 turn of the new year, and then for it to dominate the conversation, and then you can release stuff if you do want to push anything out there, or beforehand you do have a little bit of breathing room.
Yeah, I do wonder, like, if any, like, is there any other game that can really rival this? Probably not.
No.
Like, is anyone going to try
I
fight this? Probably
don't
not.
think there's any entertainment launch that could.
Yeah,
You
I
say
don't
that?
think so.
Well, isn't Avengers coming out?
Secret Wars is this, yeah, but this is going to make more money than that.
Yeah. Well, my crackpot theory is that, like, what if this isn't This is so stupid. What if this isn't like, oh yeah, we need another year to polish this? What if this is actually, we're working on a secret Switch 2 port, and that's what we're actually doing, and we're trying to get this
Good luck.
on another console, because no one's.
I'll get the
Nintendo-
GTA 5 port out first.
I guess that's true. Like, I don't even know how that'd be possible to get GTA 6 running on the Switch 2, but it'd be cool. It'd be crazy, right? Like, what if that's the big thing? I don't know. Because I don't think a Nintendo game, even like as like counter programming, could even really compete with
Well,
something.
Pokemon will probably be around then. Gen 10 will probably be right around there, but I don't think
won't matter.
Nintendo cares. Like they're like, we're gonna release. Pokemon is probably one of the few sure things outside of GTA that's like we can release it whenever, and millions of people are gonna show up.
Klein, you did bring up Call of Duty, and I do think this could be a major problem for them because the same audience who are playing Call of Duty are playing GTA 6, and they've been waiting 12, maybe 13 years by the time this actually ends up coming out. I think that's how long it's been. So which one they're going to pick when they get a new Call of Duty every year. So I think that could be a huge problem for Activision, and I think that would be something that might end up being, maybe there's a skip in the yearly Call of Duty, or they will move it to like summer or something like that. They will have to do something.
Yeah, I think Call of Duty is probably gonna, this year it's late for a Call of Duty release. I think it's this coming week, second week of November. I think Call of Duty next year is going to be a first week of October release. Like, and it has to be because they have to give themselves like 5 weeks clearance from GTA just so they can like get out, make the sales, and then avoid the GTA monolith.
Yeah, and I mean, like, anecdotally, like, I've just kind of, from the Call of Duty players that I know around me, I feel like that, like, Battlefield 6 coming out this past couple months, like, that's already kind of shaken Call of Duty in a lot of people's eyes, I think. So something like GTA 6, I think that's going to be an even bigger shift. So I think they're going to have to really do a big job of kind of trying to convince people to like, hey guys, GTA 6 is coming, but still play a little Call of Duty game. Come on, don't leave us behind.
If I was them, I would just skip a year, to be honest. Like, I don't know how many. I mean, I'm not a Call of Duty player, but I don't know how many people are really hanging out for the new game every single year. So if I was them, I would do like a decent DLC, like expand the multiplayer that they're going to release this year, and then save your next big iteration for 2027.
The thing I'd be worried about is coming into this next Call of Duty this year in 2026, Black Ops 7. I haven't heard anything about it. Enthusiasm seems to be at like an all-time low. Like in your scenario, Lauren, where they do have a big multiplayer expansion to release in the middle of next year, that is considering a game that comes out this year that people actually wanted and have played and liked. And right now there is no hype for this Call of Duty game. It's like, this could be the worst possible place for Microsoft and Activision to be in, with Call of Duty having potentially a down year here, coming into next year going, we need a win. How do we get a win when we have this whale of a GTA 6 sitting like waiting on the horizon? It's scary.
Yeah. Well, it comes back to the Switch too. Maybe next year they're like, guys, let's not worry about everyone else. Call of Duty is just gonna focus on the Switch 2 this year, and that's how they.
Nintendo's gonna. We don't have GTA, but we have COD.
Exactly.
Maybe.
Oh, but Lauren, this GTA wasn't the only game that got delayed this week. There was another big game. And that's your story, so take it away.
Yeah, so on the same day, actually, the GTA 6 announced its delay, and this does not seem to be correlated at all, but Skydance Games followed suit and revealed that its upcoming Marvel game, Marvel 1943, Rise of Hydra, has been delayed, quote, beyond early 2026. The company's statement said, quote, at Skydance Games, our goal is to deliver unforgettable premium games that honor the characters and worlds we're fortunate to work with. Marvel 1943 Rise of Hydra is an ambitious project, and we are committed to ensuring it meets the level of quality that our team, players, and fans can expect. To fully realize our vision for Marvel 1943 Rise of Hydra, we've made the decision to shift our release window beyond early 2026. End quote. So this was just kind of funny to me that it happened on the same day as GTA 6, and I guess was completely dominated by that news. I don't know if many people even noticed that this happened. But 1943 Rise of Hydra never really had a firm release date or window. Like, it was kind of like early 2026-ish. So this is now just kind of like, a bit later than that. Like, they're still not planting their flag anywhere. And I'm wondering what you guys think about this, because we've seen a pretty promising trailer. We know that this is, I think, Skydance Games' first game, and it's with Amy Hennig, who did like Uncharted and did some Naughty Dog stuff. So like, there's pretty decent pedigree behind it. But I'm a bit worried because we just like it was pretty strong out of the gate with the trailer that we saw, but it does seem like this is a really complex game. They've got different time periods. There's Black Panther, there's Captain America. We don't really know what the gameplay is going to be like. We also have things like Wolverine coming out next year. Like, this, how is this going to fit in among that landscape of superhero games? And now it just sort of seems to keep being in development perpetually, and I just am scared. Like, we've seen this narrative play out before, and it's ended in things just like not getting off the ground at all, particularly in this current climate. So I'm wondering what you guys think. Is this delay actually super concerning, and when do we actually think it's coming? Is it coming next year? Is it going to be delayed again, or when do we think it'll come next year? What do you think, Klein?
I've been worried about this game for quite a while, just because we have seen relatively little of it. We have that one trailer, and we haven't seen gameplay at all. Even in that trailer, it was very cinematic heavy, and it looks beautiful. It looks amazing. Amy Hennig is one of the best cinematic video game storytellers in the world. Like, she is responsible for the Uncharted franchise largely, which is very exciting to see her dive into a Marvel game. But even when they put their flag on early 2026, I was kind of like, okay. And then as the months went on, and in the last couple of weeks even, I've been thinking, like, when are we going to see this? Like, if it's early 2026, you would think, like, is there going to be a preview cycle with press in the next couple of months? Do we get a trailer at Game Awards? And then obviously this gets pushed out, and there is no date on it at all. So I think where this ultimately will fall is either like a July, August, or June, July, August kind of game. Like, come out in the summer, away from Wolverine, away from GTA now, or it's not coming out in 2026 at all. This is either a, hey, we just need a couple more months. Let's just push from, I don't know, say internally the goal was March. That's usually like an early time of the year that people like to put things out in. Say it was that, we move it 3 months, and then, okay, we can come out June, July, August with a more polished product. And we could still get, like, I still might suspect seeing this game at the Game Awards, with maybe not with a new release date, but with some gameplay, and then it will feel more like a real thing. But right now it just kind of feels like vaporware. It doesn't feel like a actual game that I'm going to play. It kind of just feels like the idea of something.
I agree. If I don't see gameplay kind of in the next 6 months, I don't think this is happening next year. But if I do see something and I can see that it's a tangible thing that is actually developing as we go, then I would feel more confident that it's going to hit like sometime next year. It's kind of like, people saying like BioShock 4. I'm like, okay, but where is it? It's not even really been officially announced.
It was on the 2K the earnings report this week. It's there. It says BioShock 4, and it is listed with, like, even things that have tentative 2028 or 2029, like, untitled projects are shown on there. It just says TBA. So I don't know. They're also hiring still, so that shows how far that game is.
Yeah, because there's just been like, at least this is a little bit more developed than that. Like, there has been an actual trailer for it, even though it was mostly cinematic. So there's like something to grasp onto. It's just that it does still feel very like, I don't really know what this is going to be, and so I'm concerned it will fall one way or the other. But Tom, what's your opinion?
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of similar to you guys. I think like this has been kind of shown at like shown off in terms of like its use of Unreal Engine 5. So it does feel a little bit more like tangible than some of these like other games that are kind of more in the ether. But I think, like I said, like it is just cinematics at this point. We don't know what the gameplay is going to be. So it is a little concerning, especially because comparing this to, and it's very different, like very different scenarios, but like comparing this to the GTA 6 delay. Like they said of like they delayed it, but they were like, but it's coming like later in the year. But this is a lot more open ended. So either, like you said, either it can be in summer next year, which is what I hope it is going to be, and I hope it lands next year, ahead of all the craziness. Or it could be 2027, 2028. We don't really know. I do get the feeling that it will just be kind of a thing of like, yeah, we're gonna push it to summer, but we don't want to say it yet. Maybe there will be like either like a gameplay demo or like a new trailer shown at the Game Awards. And this is just to kind of get ahead of that and to preempt people of that there is like a slight delay. But then again, it's like, why would you not just if it is that in the grand scheme of things that short of a delay? Why wouldn't you just like debut a new trailer and just say it's been delayed?
Hmm.
I'm not really sure. It's a bit confusing. I hope this game isn't in trouble. I think I have a good feeling that it will still land when it lands. I'm I'm not too sure, but I think yeah, it has to be summer really. Otherwise, it could just be overshadowed by like Wolverine and GTA 6 in particular. It'll be like
And Marvel games won't want that. Like they won't want their
No,
two games going up
no.
against each
Even though
other.
these are two different
exactly.
publishers and two different development teams, like Marvel Games is the banner
Yeah.
over top of all of them. Like they do have some say in when these things come out. So there's no way that these two things come out next fall. It is either this is summer or it's not at all in 2026.
Yeah. My worry is that like it becomes like a Guardians of the Galaxy situation where it's like that game I think is a really solid game, but it
Really
really
good
does
game.
feel like that it feels like it gets like overshadowed by, your Spider-Mans, your
Yeah.
other Marvel games, and people don't really talk about it. And I hope that isn't the case, because I do have a feeling that this will be great considering the people behind it, but it does have the chance at this point, if it gets delayed even further, to get overshadowed potentially.
Especially with Amy Hennig at the helm, because she hasn't put out a project. Like it was Uncharted 3 was the last game that she put out, because everything that it's
Mhm.
just been false start after false start. Her version of Uncharted 4, we get a trailer for it. Just she leaves that she leaves Naughty Dog. Is I don't know the full like details of that, but it does feel like she was almost forced out a little bit. Leaves, goes and starts a Star Wars project, which falls apart, and now is here doing this. So I hope this comes out. There's rumors that she is also working on a Star Wars project with Skydance as well. So it's like, I hope that these worries are for naught, and we are going to get to a point where it's like, okay, this is good. The game is actually a tangible thing that someone is playing. We have it here, and we're in a new like Amy Hennig renaissance, because she's like one of my favorite creators in the industry, and we just haven't gotten anything since 2011, I guess.
Yeah. I think the one thing that does give me a little bit of confidence is that they put an early 2026 date on this to begin with. Like, why would you do that if you didn't think it was going to happen at least? So I don't think it is something where it's like, whoa, we need to do like a super ground zero remake of it. But it is just a little bit like concerning when they go like they don't really like plant a flag. It's just kind of going to be like beyond 2026. Well, that could be literally any time. So yeah, I think our guesstimates are like good ones. But if we don't see gameplay or something about this soon, like press previews, whatever it may be, then it is kind of fishy.
Tom, let's talk about a game that is for sure 100% going to come out in 2026. Your news story is focused on some Pokemon DLCs. Let's hop over there.
Yeah, so Pokemon Legends ZA has unveiled its Mega Dimension DLC. And so, yeah, I'm going to talk about that. Shortly after the release of the base game, Pokemon Legends ZA has revealed what's in store for its Mega Dimension DLC. The new trailer revealed that the story will follow a mysterious girl named Ansha, alongside the mischief Pokemon Hooper, who can warp players through to a dimension called Hyperspace Lumiose. This is essentially a desaturated version of the Lumiose City map, inhabited by Pokemon that exceed level 100, the first time this has happened in the history of the franchise. New Mega Evolutions will also be part of the expansion, with Mega Chimecho and Baxcalibur being highlighted. This arrives in less than a month on December 10th for the price of $30. So yeah, we're teased that Legends ZA would be getting DLC, I think in the Pokemon Presents earlier this year. But this is our first kind of indication of what we're actually going to be getting in this DLC for that $30 price tag. What do we think about this? Did we get a chance to watch the trailer? I know we've had up and down thoughts about Legends ZA. Yeah, I just wanted to see what you guys think of this DLC. Will we pick it up? Will it get you back in on the Pokemon Legends ZA train, Klein? Is this going to get you back to the game?
Not at launch.
Okay.
December 10th,
Yeah.
I'm going to be full on either getting ready for Metroid or playing Metroid. This is not going to be a at launch thing for me. I haven't really taken a dive into any of the Pokemon DLC to this point, but then again, I'm trying to think, did Sword and Shield have DLC?
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, okay, because that would have been the last Pokemon game I played that had any DLC. I didn't dive into that. A lot of Nintendo games, even like stuff like Breath of the Wild, I didn't touch the DLC on that. So a lot of the Nintendo games, I haven't really gotten on the DLC train at all. $30 is quite steep as well. I'd like to see kind of how
Yeah.
expansive this this not multiplayer, this downloadable content is it Pokemon like knowing that they're Pokemon and can charge $30 for DLC, or is it actually going to be worth that much? Because that's 30 American. That's going to be like,
Yeah.
I don't know, 40, 50 Canadian. Like that's that I could buy 2 Hollow Knight Silk songs with that money. And that's kind of where my mind comes down to. So I don't think I am super interested, super excited. I liked my time with Legends ZA. I think I'm done with it. I might go back to it eventually. I might finally see credits, but I am ready to, I think, put this one up on the shelf.
Yeah, I think that's fair enough. I think the thing, I'm of two minds of this because I mean it's an interesting concept that in the Pokemon franchise we've never had level 100 has been the level cap for the longest time. You couldn't get past level 100, but now they're opening up this kind of possibility of there being levels above this in this like hyperspace dimension thing. So I do wonder like whether that could, in terms of like the longevity of this DLC, whether that is kind of like exponential. Maybe we get level 999 Pokemon, and the difficulty kind of raises. I don't know, maybe it's like a roguelike sort of thing. Maybe they kind of go that direction. But then, and that's exciting, but then the counter side of that is that literally the dimension is like Lumia City, but it's all white. Like it's just the blandest location they could have picked. And that does kind of irk me a little bit. I wish they'd, we've kind of talked about, how the map has been kind of one of the downsides of Legends ZA and how it isn't as kind of dynamic or fun to explore as other Pokemon games. So the fact that this DLC is just inverting that in this is as a little, I don't know, disheartening, I guess. But Lauren, what do you make of this? Is this something you'll keep your eye on? Maybe come back to later on, day one? What do you think?
Like, I just don't care that much about like the intricacies of Pokemon for this to make a mark on me or for me to want to spend more money. Like, I'm happy having the base game and playing through that, but I think a little bit like Klein, like when I reach my point that I'm done, like I will be done. Like the promise of 99 level Pokemon or 100 level Pokemon doesn't interest me. Like that's not why I play the game. So, and then like you say, like it's not like it's a fantastic new world that we get to explore. It's like the same world with a filter. So it kind of does feel like very Nintendo to just sort of be like cobble something together, throw it out, the people will pay for it.
Yeah.
And like I get that they're trying to do something a little bit different with these kind of new level Pokemon and that kind of like the Mega Evolution, the Mega Dimension, or whatever it is, like that kind of aspect. But I think that really plays to a certain kind of diehard Pokemon audience, and that's probably the only audience that's going to pay for this.
Yeah, and it's crazy because like as the diehard Pokemon fan on the podcast, like I don't feel like compelled to get this day one. I don't think I will, to be honest. I think like it reminds me a lot of the Donkey Kong Bonanza DLC that they released, which was also very underbaked and quite overpriced for what you got for it. Like it was that kind of roguelike mode. You got to go to DK Island, I guess, which was like an unlockable map. But beyond that, there wasn't really that much content to that experience. Um, so yeah, I kind of hope that Nintendo. I don't know if they will do this. I mean, the thing is, the counter argument is then also like we've had some incredible DLC from Nintendo at some points. The Smash DLC, the Mario Kart 8 DLC. They've
What
done
about
some
the
good
Animal
stuff. Even
Crossing that we
Animal
just talked
Crossing,
about
yeah,
last week? Like that's going to be
and that's all.
free.
It's free stuff, yeah. So they are capable. It's just whether they want to put the effort in.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. I think Nintendo just needs to get the house in order with the DLC strategies because like they are capable of this stuff. It's just like sometimes they don't want to put, I guess, the effort or the money to make these things like actually worth the price tag.
I feel like in Pokemon's case, particularly, they're probably already deep in the next game and that's got their focus. So they're just like, oh, let's just put
Yeah,
out something and they will buy it. And then like it's like we talked about with TJ a few weeks ago. Like we have so many dreams and desires for them to iterate and evolve on the things that are working, but they kind of just seem to like try it once, move on to the next thing. So yeah, and that's sometimes what DLC can offer is like whether it is a new environment or it is a new like here we have level 100 Pokemon that's kind of new and interesting, but it's something that they're just kind of doing as a throwaway versus like actually taking the time and care to make it a worthwhile experience.
yeah. It'll be interesting to see like what they do. Like that Pokopia game is coming next year, so it'll be interesting to see what they do with their spin-off titles. If that like I don't know, creates like something a bit more creative in the Pokemon franchise. But I don't know if that's gonna. We'll see. I mean, we'll see. Maybe it will light the world on fire, and that becomes the next Animal Crossing. Maybe people will love that. So, I don't know. Game Freak, can we just I don't know? Can we just do a little? Give us a little more something than we're getting more now, please.
Pokemon gonna Pokemon, Tom. That's just what this franchise does, and what they'll continue to do as long as these people continue to buy it. That's gonna do it for the news this week. Tom, Drew, give us that outro.
It's the news we choose. Yeah.
And we head on over to the PlayStation 2 Hall of Fame. Yes, just a couple of weeks ago, on October 26th to be exact, the PS2 celebrated its 25th birthday. Sony's second stab at a home console is widely considered one of the best of all time, and it still stands all these years later as the best-selling video game console ever with 160 million units worldwide. Its massive popularity was, yes, in part thanks to the stellar games, which we will talk about here on the show today, but also because of the inclusion of a DVD disc drive that was baked right into the hardware, becoming millions of people's first ever DVD player. And as I said, in honor of the 25th birthday, we thought we would celebrate this little black box by building a Hall of Fame, putting together 10 games that we think essentially define the PS2. But before we get to that, Tom, you teed it up off the top of the show. You got a tease there, so we'll go to Lauren first. I want to know, what is all of our history with the PlayStation 2 specifically? Did you have one? What are some of your favorite memories? Lauren, you said you did, but what is your memories? What is your story with the PS2?
Yeah, the PS2 was a huge part of my like gaming upbringing. It was something that really bonded me and my grandma together because my uncle was the one who had the PS1 in that household when he was like younger and left it there, and I unearthed it. That's how I discovered Crash Bandicoot and all of that. And then it kind of became the console that like lived at my grandparents' house, and that's like I would go over there and that would be like my gaming time with them. And my grandma really loved just like we would like play games together. We would play together. She would watch me play, but you know, it felt like a bonding activity. So that was something that was like everybody knew that that was something that we did together, and that was like that really became associated with those trips to my grandparents' place in my mind was like, oh, I'd get to pick up this game again and play for the weekend, and then get picked up and go back to my normal house where I didn't have it. So it was kind of like I would have sparing moments with it over like a bunch of years, but that kind of made the time really special with it. And yeah, so I have really warm and positive memories of the PS2. And like we are going to talk about, they've just had some really amazing games that I think a lot of them, you can now play again on the PlayStation stores. It was a lot easier to emulate those games than it was with the PS3. But yeah, I just had such a huge pile of PS2 games that I would just like jump between. It was a really great era for gaming.
Tom, you set it up off the top as well. You also had a PS2, so let's walk through your PlayStation 2 story.
Yeah, I think my first ever console was probably the Game Boy, but my first like proper home console, I'm pretty sure was PlayStation 2. I remember like I don't know, like I haven't found like any evidence of this bundle ever existing. Like maybe it just came with the game, but like my PS2, I distinctly remember came with Ty the Tasmanian Tiger 2, Bush Team Rescue, which is like this like 3D like platforming kind of game where you play as a Tasmanian tiger with
You can
boomerangs and
play
you
it
just throw
now.
them
It's
around.
been re-released.
Yeah, it's on the Switch. It's a great port. It really holds up to this day. I think. But you're out in the outback having fun with some kooky characters. And yeah, I love the PS2. All my friends had a PS2 as well, so we'd go around and play different multiplayer games as well. That was definitely a really defining memory of just like the couch co-op. Like that was really the era of PS2, and then the generation after that of that couch co-op. I just have such fond memories of playing. I don't want to spoil any of the games I want to talk to other than the Tasmanian Tiger 2. But they're just some really fun times played on those. So yeah, like it was the reason why I would eventually come back to PlayStation after kind of a hiatus. I quickly after that became a Nintendo guy, so I was in with the Wii, in with the Wii U, and then kind of hard done by the Wii U, so I went back to PlayStation afterwards. But yeah, I have some really good fun memories with PS2, and we're gonna walk through a couple more memories with some of the games we talk about, I'm sure.
I am the outsider here. I notably never owned a PlayStation 2. My first PlayStation console, I guess, was a PSP, but the home console was the PS3. But the PS2 for me was a big part of my gaming upbringing, being the console, the cool console that all my friends had that I didn't. I had a GameCube. I loved my GameCube, but like going over to friends' houses and sleepovers, spending all night playing whatever, whether it be like a Tony Hawk game or Guitar Hero or all these different things, and coming home be like, man, I wish I had a PS2 because there were just like so many things to play. And Mario Kart was cool, but like the experiences, it felt like the PS2 was like wasn't a kid's toy. It was like, oh, that's where like the adult games are played. That's where like Grand Theft Auto happens, and we don't do that on the GameCube. And so for me, I like have a lot of memories associated with the PS2. And then once I got a PS3 and really fell headfirst into the PlayStation ecosystem, finding like Podcast Beyond at IGN and really starting to follow this whole kind of canon of games and consoles at that point, I started to dip back into the back catalog as things were re-released. And over the years, I have like covered a lot of the bases when it comes to like the essential PlayStation 2 games. But there's some, like as you said, Ty the Tasmanian Tiger, Tom. I don't think we're going to talk about that game today. I think of
What?
things like
Come
ATV
on.
Off-Road Fury was a franchise that like all my friends had the games of, and we played so much. Or it's not on the Hall of Fame, but those games were just so much fun. There were just like so many games on this console because there were so many consoles, and so like there's so many titles and so many great like multiplayer games and single player games and just lots of fun times to be had.
Yeah, really, really fun times to be had. Yeah, like you said, there's going to be some games that I'm sure I'll have to skip over. One of which being Bionicle the game. I'm sure it's not going to be in the Hall of Fame, but I have to shout it out because it's just like what a game. You play as all the different Toa from Bionicle. Oh, incredible.
Lauren, do you want to
I
lament
feel
about the
like
dog's life here now?
I
Is
yeah.
that
What do you mean? That's going on in the Hall of Fame. I'm not talking about it because we're putting it on the list.
Oh
What are
yeah,
you
of
talking
course.
about? I was just gonna say on Bionicle because I was a huge Bionicle fan as well, Tom. But I feel like that was one of those games that didn't come out in Australia, and I was like rabid over. Like I was like, it was the early era of the internet, and I was like to my dad, who was good at the internet, I was like, "Can you please help me find this game?" But we couldn't find one that was compatible with our region, so I never got to
Oh
play. And I was
no,
like, "What the hell, man? Bring
that's
it
so sad.
back!"
Yeah, well, that's the thing. It's not been re-released anywhere, so I don't know. It's in Lego's hands, I guess. This is our official call out to the Lego group. Bring back
Yeah.
Bionicle the game. It's we need to
Forget
play it.
Legacy of the Dark Knight. The next thing we want is Bionicle remastered.
Yeah, please.
you will sell at least 2 copies.
That's right.
Exactly.
We might buy it twice.
Okay, I think we can get into making the Hall of Fame. We can start by just like throwing out titles that we think could be on it, making a little bit of a short list, and then whittling it down to 10. Basically, how this is going to work is by the end, we will have 10 PlayStation 2 games that define the console. And this is, as we've said before in our past Hall of Fame episodes, these games do not have to be exclusive to the PS2. They just have to, like, in your mind, define the PS2, if that makes sense. They may have come to other consoles. The Grand Theft Auto games came to other consoles, but to me, those are definitively PlayStation 2 games. So I think we'd start by throwing out a few things here, favorites. I'm assuming we will have a 3D platformer on this top 10. I don't know if we want more than one. Is Sly Cooper that 3D platformer? I'm throwing it to you, Lauren. You seem to be the 3D platformer PlayStation. Like, were you a Jack and Ratchet?
Well, what are we doing?
Like,
Are
you
we
have
making a case for each one that we
right
want
now.
on, or
We're
are you
making
just
a bit
writing
of a
down
short
names?
list. We're gonna throw out a
Okay,
bunch of
we'll
stuff.
write all of those down.
All of those. Okay, so Ratchet.
3 Sly games, 3 Jack games.
Oh god. And then Bionicle the game, obviously.
Yeah. Dog's Life.
Yeah.
Put that on there. Yep.
Okay, it's done. Well, thanks for listening, guys. This has been the Hall of Fame, and
Yeah, that's 10, right?
yeah, that's 10.
3
Yeah.
Ratchet games, 3 Sly games, 3 Jack games, and a Dog's Life. Easy.
And it talks like-
That's 10.
Incredible. Yeah, like of those, like, I mean, are we just gonna
I'm
keep
not
going?
seeing a
with the
Dog's
list, or
Life
do we-
being written down here.
God.
It can go on the short list. It's not making it on the top 10.
Damn
I will
right.
not stand.
You've never played it.
Come
true.
I think GTA needs to be on there. What San Andreas was that? Was
There's
that era?
3 San Andreas and Vice City.
Okay.
And everyone
Okay.
has their own kind of flavor that they like. My pick, if I was like, I do think one will like make the list, and my pick would be Vice City, but I know San Andreas is like also beloved.
Interesting. I'm also going to throw on the Star Wars Battlefront 2
Yes,
as a
Tom.
multiplayer pick. I think that needs to be on the shortlist for sure.
I think
What
God of
about
War is to be on there. The original God of War.
God of
Yeah,
War
for
1,
sure.
God of War 2?
Probably
That's the
the
shortlist.
first
We can
one.
put as many on as we want.
Yeah.
I guess we can do all of them.
I'm a 2 stan, but I can
Okay.
see the case for 1 as well.
Yeah.
Metal Gear 3.
I think 3. Yeah, I think that should go on there.
I know 2 is very divisive. Again, games I haven't played, but games I'm
Yeah, but
obsessed
Snake
with.
Eater for sure. In the similar kind of third-person shooter vein, I think RE4, Resident Evil 4, and Silent Hill 2 probably for some horror reps. I think should probably be in the conversation.
The only thing about RE4 is like, is that a GameCube game in your mind? Like, because
Well,
like
this
it
is
did
the
come
thing.
out for the GameCube first, and then like, is it, what does it define? I feel like if you think it belongs, we can put it on.
Well, I think for the shortlist at least. But I think that's something we can debate for sure.
I think
What
Gran
about
Turismo 4 needs to be on there.
3 or 4? Which one was on? I think it's
Oh, I think
3.
it was. Oh, let me double check there. No, it was 4. Was on 2.
Oh, okay. Gran Turismo 4, sure.
That's the one that I'm more familiar with.
Yeah, I think either of those are considered classics. Shadow of the Colossus.
Yeah, I was going to
Yep.
bring that up. I think that definitely needs to be in consideration.
Our new game plus from earlier this year, Okami.
Yes, we're going to bring that too.
That is definitively a PS2 game.
Mm-hmm.
Two games that make use of peripherals on the
Oh god, here we go.
PS2.
Yeah, here we go. Come on.
Guitar Hero 3 Legends of Rock
Yep.
and Buzz.
Loved Buzz. I have a third one as well. iToy?
Oh yeah. That's got to be
Shadow
there.
Guitar Hero 3. That's my favorite of the like original.
That's one that threw the fire and flames. So
Time.
I mean,
How about Kingdom Hearts 1 or 2?
yeah, I had that on here. So I think
thought 4 was the big one from that era.
For
Kingdom
what?
Hearts.
Kingdom Hearts 4 hasn't come out yet.
Kingdom Hearts 4 is what's coming out. My bad. Yeah.
Yeah. I also had down, shout out Oscar from who we met at PAX. But Psychonauts was another one I had.
Another potentially GameCube leaning.
Is a thing as well.
Yeah.
But I thought it was worth mentioning.
What about a Tony Hawk game?
Yeah?
Yeah, I think you have to put that on the list.
I think
Yeah.
if I was
Surprised you haven't brought it up sooner.
on the list, I would do Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 or Tony Hawk Underground.
Okay.
Not 4.
Sure.
They're definitively they're two different things.
I'd also say Simpsons Hit and Run.
Simpsons Hit and Run. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then I think this might be overshadowed by GTA, but Bully?
Bully, sure.
Yeah.
Another Rockstar game.
Mm-hmm. And then I think that might be the last game I have here is the first Lego Star Wars game. Or any of the Lego games really. But Lego Star Wars 1.
Any Burnout or Need for Speed? I know those were big around that era.
My big one was the one I played was Need for Speed Underground 2.
Underground 2 is the big. Yeah.
Yeah. So
there's also a bunch of Crash Bandicoot and Spyro games in this era, but I wouldn't argue that any of them were like the definitive titles for those franchises on PS2. They were definitely PS1 era.
That's when they went third party, right? Like that's Activision had bought them at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was no longer Naughty Dog and Sucker Punch. Insomniac? Who was Sly? Or not Sly?
Insomniac, I think. Insomniac was Spyro, I think.
Oh. Speaking of Insomniac, tangentially, Spider-Man 2, the movie game, considered the greatest superhero game of all time before like the modern era.
Yeah, I think that's That's a good shout.
You guys
Dog's
can
Life
say
still
no.
isn't on here?
What?
A Dog's Life
Dog's
still
Life is
isn't
on
on
here?
here?
Yeah, it
Where?
is.
Yeah, it's like 4th.
Number
It's
four.
4th.
Oh, that's right.
It's so high up.
I'm gonna say a name of a game, and I think I'm gonna get laughed at, but I think it's one of the definitive games of that era. SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom.
Yeah,
You can put it
throw
on the
on.
shortlist.
It's fun. Okay.
Yeah, throw it on. Throw it on.
I don't know how we're whittling this down. Should we just start doing that?
Yeah, this.
I think so. Like the only other things I could think of here is like Final Fantasy X, maybe. But I think we're gonna get to 10 and be like pretty like good, solid.
Yeah.
Among this list, does anybody feel like this 100%, no question, like this would be is there anyone's top PS2 game on here? That like this is
Yeah.
the definitive PlayStation 2 game?
I think so.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's our list, right? So it doesn't have to be the ones that everyone else thinks is definitive.
Yeah, no, totally. So that's why I want to know, just like, because I want to see kind of varying levels of like, what do we collectively agree on? And so if someone's like, I feel very strongly about this, and both, like Lauren, you say, oh, blah, 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 and Tom and I go, oh, yeah, I think then that is like pretty surefire. Oh, that makes it onto the list.
So A Dog's Life.
Make the case. Make the case.
No, it's okay.
Well, you're a dog.
I will say though, well, like my favorite game, one of my favorite games of all time, which I guess is my favorite game of the PS2 era, was one we played last year, was Sly 2 Band of Thieves, and I think is the best representative of that trilogy. So I would like to put up a case for that. I think that was we played one and then we played two, and you guys saw how it evolved in that second game, and how I think that was the franchise at its peak, and is one of the mascot kind of platformers of the PS2 generation. It wasn't the Crash or the Spyro or the Ratchet and Clank. It was a new thing for that specific era. So that's my case.
I think that there has to be a 3D platformer on here, and I would be happy with putting Sly 2 on it. I wanted to ask you, Lauren, because I don't have the experience, having not owned a PS2, and my group of friends, I think one of them had Jak 3, but that wasn't really their scene. Do you have experience with like all three of the Jak games? And do you even have like Ratchet experience at all? Have you touched those original PS2 games?
I don't have as much experience with Ratchet, only the new one on PS5. I will be making a case for Jak as well, but we can come back to that if you want.
Okay. Interesting.
I think that the first game on here should be Sly 2.
Yeah, I think it should. I think like it's, if Tyler Tasmanian Tiger 2 is not going to be on here, I think
it's representative of a vertical that the PlayStation 2 did very well, and ultimately it's our list. So like, hey, it's our favorite of those.
Yeah,
for sure. And like, it deserves it. The worlds are so sprawling. Like the boss fights are so fun. Like, and it like
so
you said,
uniquely
Lauren,
animated.
Yeah, the art style's beautiful. To this day, I think it like really holds up. And like it improved on that first game so much. And of these, I mean, I played a bit of Ratchet 3, but I think I'd probably put Sly 2 above that even. So yeah, I think Sly 2 deserves to be here.
And you mentioned Jak, Lauren. Which one?
So do I have to pick either or? I would make a second spot on the list for Jak personally.
Oh yeah, if you think it's worth it, make the case. Which Jak would it be? Jak 1?
This is tough. I think Jak and Dax of the Precursor Legacy, which is the first one, is probably maybe more definitive, and has that element of nostalgia. And then Jak 2 like goes really hard into like, they just changed so much. And I personally like Jak 2 more because it got a bit darker. Like Jak didn't talk in the first game, and then they fully gave him a character arc and lines in the second one. They made it this kind of dystopian political story. There was like huge gunplay elements that came in. Like it was a massive step up. It was also really hard. But it was so cool. You got like a hoverboard that you could go around. There was flying cars. Like it was a really awesome vision. So that's my personal preference. Did you play any of them, Tom?
No, I was never a Jak person, so I can't say I have really any experience with the franchise, to be honest.
I've finished one. That's my
You finished
experience, and I've
the first one?
played most of. I have sat beside someone playing most of 2, and I've
Okay,
played all the way through 3, kind of passing the controller back and forth.
gotcha. So what was your favorite out of those?
I found I would have to go back. I played 1 most recently on the PS5. So like I've played it in
Okay.
the last 5 years and I really liked it. It is much more of a traditional 3D platformer. That like
Yeah.
you are collecting things, you are swinging around, you are finding the orbs. 2, my memory of was like, oh, like it has this great open world, the guns, it felt like it has the kind of sheen in my mind of like the game we weren't supposed to be playing as like 9 and 10-year-olds. Like, oh, like
Yeah.
they're like they say damn now. And but I do know that like people who have gone back to Jack 2 in the last few years, it's a very divisive game now, especially with the open world sections. Just like navigating that world, I know is a big complaint that people have. Is it's way too messy. Jack 1 was a way more like concise, kind of like better experience, and then some people even think that 3 fixes a lot of the issues of 2.
3 was the only one I never finished. Still, even saying all that, it's tough because maybe Jack 1 is more definitive of the PS2 era because it was Naughty Dog's kind of first big PS2 game. But I just liked 2 more. Thought they
We
took
could
bigger
like
swings.
Yeah. We could yellow this like Jack conversation, like put a pin in it
Like
and
a
kind of
Jack is
see
going
where
on
we should.
there.
Okay, it's just a matter of which one.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so let's say Jack 1 or 2, and then we can revisit as
Okay,
we kind of maybe there's a void that needs to be filled as we kind of move
Mhm.
along.
sure.
Definitively, I will say there are like 2 or 3 that I'm feeling pretty good about. Like Shadow of the Colossus, I think
Yeah,
might be the
I think that has
definitive
to
like PS2 game. Um, are we feeling okay about that?
be.
Yep,
Yeah,
I
I
think
think
that can
so.
go.
I replayed it on PS4, and like you play it now, and there are some things that don't hold up, but like the highs of that game are like some of the best in gaming, and like the fact that it's one of those kind of games that opens the conversation of like gaming as like an art medium. I think that's very significant. So I think it's definitely got to be on here. It's just
And then
it's a
the other
classic.
one was Vice City. Like I think a GTA game has to be on here. It
Yeah,
changed GTA 3 when it came out, changed gaming because it was the first big open world thing. San Andreas has its fans, but it almost went too far. They introduced like, hey, there's like hunger and you're like you have to go get your hair cut, and CJ the main character like gets fatter and skinnier depending on like how much exercise you're doing in the game, whereas Vice City is like, hey, we're going to take the GTA 3 formula, this open world mayhem sandbox, and set it in the 1980s, and there's going to be neon everywhere and the music's going to be great. And I think that looking back now, I look back more fondly on my time playing Vice City. Like these 2 games were definitive sleepover games for me. They just so many nights playing until you die, pass the control to the next person, play till you die, pass the controller to the next person. And I would put Vice City, like that would be my pick, but I don't know if either of you have like GTA experience.
I couldn't go one way or the other.
yeah. The only experience I have on with GTA on the PS2 was 3, but like I didn't play like a ton of it because I didn't own it. So I mean I think a GTA game has to go on here. So I'd be happy with
Yeah.
Vice City being on here if it's
I'm putting Vice
available.
City on the list. It's just too
Oh,
cool not to go on the list.
Cool.
Um, that was kind of everything that I felt like needs to be here. I would make an
Yeah, I
argument for
think
a Tony Hawk game. I don't think I'm going to win that argument, but
there's a
we'll see how we go.
well there's a couple I have here that I think need to be on here. Shadow of the Colossus was one of them. I think the other one, another the big multiplayer game that I think should be on here is Battlefront 2. I
I
think just
was
like
I was humming and hawing. Like I think I'm with you.
I think that just whole experience, like the couch co-op, like defined the PS2, like, and that was one of the most fun like experiences. Just like I remember loading up in Heroes and Villains on Tatooine, and you'd play as your
Mos
favorite Jedi or
Eisley.
Sith, and it was so fun. Even like the campaign mode was really expansive, and they haven't really done something like that since. Just yeah, I think a game's is really iconic, so I think it deserves to be here.
I still think it might be the best Star Wars game we've ever gotten. Battlefront 2.
Probably, yeah.
It's
I think
just
so.
there's a formula there that the EA Battlefront games never quite recaptured. I think at the end of EA's Battlefront 2, they got quite close, but
Mhm.
the Galactic Conquest mode in this game, multiplayer, where it's like we're gonna sit here for like 8, 9, 10 hours and do an entire intergalactic war over multiple planets with over
Yeah.
multiple multiplayer games, and the system of like going in as just like a lone clone trooper or whatever, and as you I guess kill the enemy team, as you whittle down their forces, you're getting these points and then being able to cash those in to be like, now I'm going to be a shock trooper, or now I'm going to have a jetpack,
Yeah.
or now I'm going to be Obi-Wan Kenobi. It is, I think it still holds up. They did that re-release last year, 2 years ago, on PS5 that you can play now, and it still has. There's still people that play this original game to this day online because it does have such a staying power.
Yeah.
I have no objections.
I can still hear the woot, doot, 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 as you like load into the map and it like zooms in on the planet. Did you have any others, Tom? You said there were a couple.
I do think a peripheral game should make it here.
All right.
And my vote would probably be Guitar Hero, just because like even playing Guitar Hero now, it kind of sucks that Guitar Hero isn't a thing
I
anymore
miss it.
because like as unwieldy as that like massive guitar controller is, it's so fun. Like we went to an arcade bar. I think like I guess at this point a couple months ago, but they had like dedicated Guitar Hero setups inside, and it's just so fun, especially when you're playing with other people. You feel like such a badass, even though like I like can play a real guitar. I don't know, playing it like in a game, it feels cooler somehow. So I think Guitar Hero 3, especially, like I said, Through the Fire of Flames. What a
Mm-hmm.
track! I mean, like it from that era, so
One
cool.
of
So
the most iconic video game, I think, like things ever is just Through the
Yep.
Fire
yeah,
and Flames, Guitar Hero 3. You're
hmm
not going to hear any argument from me on this. Like I would be more than happy throwing Guitar Hero 3 on here.
Yeah, I think it was like really pivotal. I actually surprisingly didn't have it on PS2. I had it on the Wii of all
Yeah.
things.
okay,
Um, but same experience, obviously.
yeah,
And it introduced me to so much music, like at that age as well. Like getting to know like Guns N' Roses and like those kinds of like rock heroes and things like that. Like there was a Paramore song on there. There was like No Doubt. There was and like obviously Fire and
hmm
Flames is the big one. Yeah, I think it and I don't know if this was the start of those kind of rhythm games like that became really big later on, like touch screens and things like that, but it definitely was the start of something, so I'd be happy with that.
Yeah, I was more of a Rock Band kid, but Rock Band was, I think, like definitively almost the next generation. I
yeah.
think
I'd say,
that it was more
Yeah, like when they
PS3,
added the
Xbox
drums and
360.
things.
Yeah, when they added the drums, and
Yeah,
and that for me is when I had the experience you had, Lauren, where I was playing Rock Band 1 and 2 on my Wii and going like, who is this band? Like, what is this
yeah,
killer song? Who is like what Carry On My Wayward Son? And like as a 11 or 12-year-old going to my dad and being like, Dad, like, can you burn these songs onto a CD? And it's like The Who, Pinball
yeah,
Wizard, and like Carry On My Wayward Son. And he's like, who is like, what is going on? And having everyone over in the basement playing Rock Band and Guitar Hero 3, my friend, one of my best friends growing up, Oliver, he had this one and he had Guitar Hero 2. And we would sit and just, yeah, pass the guitar controller back and forth. I remember Slow Ride, I think, was like the easiest song in Guitar Hero 3. That Slow Ride, banana. And I can like still like see the like chart coming down when it does the do do do. Yeah, it deserves to be here. So that's 6. We have 3 more. No, 4 more. Math is hard. I saw the 7, okay? 7 minus 10.
I think I want to put up a case for Gran Turismo 4.
They were technical showcases. Like, they got people who didn't play racing games into racing games simply because they looked the way
I
they
was
did.
one of them. Literally, like I just remember like a really core memory of like my friend had the game and like going over to her place and we would just pick the fastest possible expensive cars and run them into walls. And it was just like freedom to like, because we couldn't drive at that age, so it was just like we felt like really cool being
Yeah.
able to like drive and like wish fulfillment in that way, and like pick the dream car that we wanted and what color it would be. And I thought that was really cool, like despite obviously it had all that technical stuff with the actual models and speeds and race loops that people into racing could enjoy, but for I think it did open up a lot of possibilities for like younger players as well who just wanted to be like, I just want to drive cars.
Gran Turismo 4, Gran Turismo 3. There was a lot of really good racing games, but the Gran Turismo franchise specifically is just like, even on the PS1, 1 and 2 were these like, oh my gosh, games will never look better than this that they do right now on this Gran Turismo game. So I I think that I'd be okay with it there. The only thing I would like combat is like, do we do like a Need for Speed if we're going to do a racing game? But I think that Gran Turismo almost is like its own thing because it is less of a racing game and more of just like a technical showcase. And like,
It was like a racing simulator.
yeah,
Yeah. I've never played Gran Turismo, so I'm gonna go off your guys' judgment. But I think it makes sense for a game like this to be here. I think it does feel that like you guys said, it's a technical showcase. Like it makes sense.
this is the generation when like Gran Turismo became the like prestige racing title that it still kind of is, even though it's had its ups and downs in the years since then. But everyone on a simulator side of things, like they are trying to match up to the way that these games look, feel, and sound.
Mm-hmm.
Three
All
more
right.
spots.
Okay,
Do we
what's-
wanna God of War 2?
I
Perhaps
think
the
God of War
last
should be on
great
there.
PS2 game?
I never played
Yeah.
2 though. I only played 1. So I don't really know. What was the big selling
It
point
was
for
just
2?
2 was just bigger. Like it was
Right.
like the scale and everything. It is another one of those I can't believe they're doing this on this little machine sort of moments. I've played all of these in a PS3 collection, so they all kind of blend together. But
Right.
2, I remember feeling like a step up. I'm just trying to remember why. I think it was mostly just like graphically and um the kind of feeling of like this is bewildering to look at.
Mm,
Um and I do generally think that the like general kind of consensus is that 2 is like a masterpiece 10 out of 10 game.
sure. I think as long as
And
God
it,
of War is represented.
yeah, and it's like like this was like after the PS3 came out, I think is when God of War 2 came out, which is kind of wild.
Oh,
Oh,
It's like
weird.
late 2006.
did it come out on PS3 as well?
No.
How odd.
Yeah, it's like the swan song. It was oh no, March 13th, 2007. It came out like 6 months after the PS3 came out.
Oh, but not that's so weird. I mean, I guess you have that now, but then it's more you more have like cross-platform where it's like
Yeah, I guess like
it's
the
both.
PlayStation 3 was so notorious with the hardware jump that
Yeah.
maybe they couldn't
Yeah,
stand to redo it all for that.
And there were so many PS2s that it's like,
yeah. The install
Yeah.
base is huge.
right?
So
You have 160 million users out there.
Yeah.
Got to give them
yeah,
something.
yeah. Oh man.
God of War 2?
Well, I
Okay.
guess so. The thing is, we have so many other games here. I think like I don't know. Well, so this is where my head's leaning at right now. Is that I think this list needs a horror game, and for that, I'd probably say Silent Hill 2 because,
I would also
like
say
you kind of
Silent Hill
said,
2 if we're talking horror.
yeah, like you said, Klein, RE4, I think also was like a definitive game of that era, but it has that GameCube kind of connection. But Silent Hill 2, I think kind of defines the PS2 a little bit more. It has been incredibly influential in terms of like the tone it set, the whole vibe of Silent Hill, the story it was going for was like really ambitious. And yeah, I think if we're gonna have a horror game on here, I think Silent Hill 2 is probably gonna be the one.
It is like the definitive survival horror game, Silent Hill 2. Like if we're talking like straight
Yeah.
survival horror, like I want to be scared out of my pants, like Silent Hill 2 is still the one that people keep coming back to.
I obviously didn't play it, so you guys can pick.
I had one terrifying video game rental experience with Silent Hill 2 in a sleepover, and I will not go back.
Oh god.
So this is it. We have one more spot. Can we revisit the Tony Hawk conversation?
I think we're all going to have different ideas for the last spot. So maybe we'll just make a case.
Okay.
So go ahead, Klein.
Yep.
I think you want to talk. What's the case I want to make here? You want to talk an era of video games like Guitar Hero, where it's like a game was so successful, we're getting one every single year for a decade or whatever. This was like the height of the Tony Hawk reign of that, where it's like we were getting a Tony every year. The PlayStation 2 was out, it got a Tony Hawk game, and some of them are considered some of the best games ever made. I think Tony Hawk 3 is the best of the bunch. Thug Underground is the like first kind of open world game, and it was a very different game, so I would maybe make an argument for that potentially as well. But I think just it's Tony Hawk 3 is a masterpiece and is like definitively like that is, you want to talk the like mix of branding and brand identity and the game itself. PlayStation 2 was the cool console and Tony Hawk was the cool video game on that console. And so that is kind of where my brain goes. But
I think those games, like they do harken back to like that again, like what I was kind of talking about with Battlefront, where it's like you're playing with your friends, you like will play like a Tony Hawk, and you'll just pass the controller, see what tricks you guys like can do, and I think that experience, I think, is something we've missed since that era has passed. So I think there definitely is a case for Tony Hawk.
Tony Hawk 3 is the highest rated PlayStation 2 game of all time on Metacritic, by the way.
Okay. Lauren, is there a game that you want to make the case for?
Staying on Tony Hawk for a minute, I think there is a case, like one thing that would be good about having this is we don't really have many sport games on the list. And I do have some nostalgia for, I don't know which game it was, but you know when you got your PS2 and there was like a demo disc, they had some levels from, I don't know which Tony Hawk game, but that was like, I always remember having fun with those, but not being good enough to be like, I want to play a full game of it.
Was it your PS2
the only thing
that
is
you got that disc with?
The PS2, yeah.
It came with the PS2. That would have been 3. It would have been the Foundry, where you're in like there's like a furnace and that you're skating around in.
No, it was like a city, but
oh,
I don't know. Doesn't matter. The only thing is that it came out on like multiple consoles, so I don't know like how definitive to the PS2 it could be compared to some others. The game I was going to put up for discussion, well, actually I had one that I do personally love more, but we can do honorable mentions later. But Kingdom Hearts 2 was like, I just think Kingdom Hearts in general is so quintessential to the PS2, particularly because of how long in development each of them have taken. And that one like was so cool in the combination of like that kind of Japanese Final Fantasy style with Disney. And like that was just so exciting at that age. Like I didn't own Kingdom Hearts, but like I had friends who would play, and like it was so beloved to them. And I obviously like loved Disney as a kid growing up. So just having those characters in that world was so awesome. So I would be putting up that one for debate.
It's really hard, Lauren, when you put up one of my favorite games of all time against one of my other favorite games of all time. So I love Kingdom Hearts 2 is really good. Like it's really good.
Yeah, I think with Kingdom Hearts 2 as well, like, well, the Kingdom Hearts in general, like, it's another, like, kind of genre that's not really represented here, which is, like, RPGs, and I think, like, RPGs, like this game, got a lot of people into RPGs, I think, so, like, I think it is kind of quintessential for that alone. In terms of what I want to put up, this is tough. There's like so many things I could say. Can I say Bionicle again? Is that still in
You can
contention?
say it.
No, I'll say you brought it up, and when you said it, I like can't believe I didn't think about it. But Spider-Man 2, like for that era, was amazing. Like that open world swinging around. Obviously, it's been surpassed by Marvel Spider-Man and Spider-Man 2 and the Miles Morales game. But like up to that point, they couldn't get it as fun and compelling as that original game. There's just so many fun things. I mean, like it was based off the movie, but there were so many other little side missions that you would do. Like I think Black Cat was like in the game, and like
There
there
was
were
a
other
lot
little
of people in it.
like other
Black Cat,
characters. Yeah.
Mysterio,
Mhm.
Shocker, Electro. There's a lot of
Yeah, they
Spider-Man
really
characters.
expanded it, which is like awesome. Also the pizza minigame, delivering pizza, the music for that, it lives in my head rent free. In terms of superhero games, Spider-Man 2 like was just incredible.
I think it was like the definitive movie tie-in game too, like those ones that where they
Totally.
would
Yeah.
just like put out games based on movies, and a lot of them were like half-baked, but that one was actually like really good. The only reason I wouldn't vote for this one is just because it has been surpassed since. Like, but I think Marvel's Spider-Man, so I don't
If
feel
this
like it
was
would.
a top 25,
Yeah,
Tom,
yeah,
I would be
easy.
like, I would be there with you. I
Yeah.
just don't know if it's a top 10.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair.
So how do we decide?
I don't
Well,
know.
are you guys firm in your camps then?
I'm firm in my. The
because
thing
then
is
I can
like,
be I could be the
if I
decider.
was making a top 11, both like we would just have it right here. It would be Kingdom Hearts would
Yeah.
be Tony Hawk. I do kind of see where Lauren's talking about, like, is it definitively a PS2 game? But like for a game that belongs to no one, where does it sit? Because I associate it with PS2, and I think a lot of people do, but I don't think that it is like definitively a PS2 game.
Whereas like Kingdom Hearts was only on PS2 at the time.
Mm-hmm.
But we also have other games on here, like Battlefront. Was Battlefront 2 exclusive? I don't think
It
so.
was on Xbox as well.
So like,
But it's
I
like
think that,
Battlefront 2 is a PS2 game.
yeah,
Sorry,
for sure.
Xbox players.
Well, looks like it comes down to me to decide between you two, Kingdom Hearts 2 or Tony Hawk.
I think it's
think
Kingdom Hearts.
I think
Oh,
it is. I
okay,
was gonna
that was
say-
easy.
I think it is Kingdom Hearts as well. Just because of like, it feels like it fills within this list. It fills something that isn't met yet, and I think Tony Hawk is, like Lauren said, like we don't really have a sports game. I guess Gran Turismo is the closest to that.
but we have
then
two
you also
3D mascot platformers.
we do. Is that gonna be a conversation?
I'm just throwing it out there.
I don't know. Do you want to go to bat for it? I'm not backing down.
Sure. Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3, or which do you want? Which are you more fervent in the belief? Sly 2 or Jack? What deserves to be on here?
Both.
What do you feel more passionately about?
Well, I had both my reasons for it. Sly 2 is my
Mhm.
personal definitive PS2 game to this day. If you want to take something off there, I will throw away Gran Turismo.
I can't do
All right.
that.
But also
Jack?
looking at the list, I think Jack 1 is probably the one that will fill the void that we're missing so far.
Yeah.
Tom, how do you feel about what just happened?
I mean, I'm just looking at this list, and I think, am I crazy? I think Tony Hawk should be here.
But what are we taking
why was
off?
it not brought up earlier? Why was it not your number
Because it
one
was one of-
pick line?
Because I was talking about games that I felt like everyone would agree on. And I very much felt no one would agree on my Tony Hawk pick.
No,
And you're right.
do. I think it is. I think it should be here. I'm not saying it should replace. I'm not saying what it should. I think it should replace something, but
But what does it
I think
replace?
it
I
could.
would
I
say
mean,
Jack because I feel Sly 2 is a better game and a more
yeah.
definitive PlayStation 2 game.
Well, I'm just looking at like in terms of like what we have represented. Like Sly 2, these first two are 3D platforms. Shadow Colossus is kind of a 3D action game.
What is Shadow of the Colossus?
It's just like it's a weird
Yeah.
beast of a game. GTA is an open world game. Battlefront 2 is a shooter. Guitar Hero is a music game. Racing games, Gran Turismo. God of War 2, also kind of an action game similar to Shadow of the Colossus. Silent Hill 2 is a horror game. Kingdom Hearts 2 is an RPG. So to me, the things that are standing out are like God of War 2, Shadow of the Colossus, and Sly 2 and Jack, because we have crossover of like genres. That's what I would say.
We do, but that was like such what the PS2 was. That's why there's so many of them, because they were so good.
Yeah, but then you also have other things like you have Tony Hawk. Like there's other things like that. Like, I don't know. I think it needs to be here.
Okay. Do you want to take out Kingdom Hearts 2? That is what it is
No,
technically. We both put up for debate.
I don't want to get rid of, but I don't want to get rid of King Hearts because it's an RPG, and I think that
Right.
on its own should be here. I don't know if we're not. I would because then we also the reason why Spider-Man 2 maybe doesn't go up is because it's been surpassed. God of War 2 has that been surpassed?
I think that that's such a different game though than what the God of War games are now.
I guess so.
I think we leave this list as it is.
Okay.
I think we leave it at this 10. I'm sorry, Tony. I tried. I'm just like I love Jack. And I think it has to be. I think Naughty Dog has to be there.
Because like, who are these titles here for? They're here for us. So just because we think God of War has to be there, if you have more reverence for Tony Hawk, put it on there. Like, it's our list.
Exactly.
But you said God of War should be on here for sure. A God of War game, right?
Yeah, but then Tony Hawk means more to you.
This is what debate is. This is debate. It's pushing, it's pull. You know, it's compromise.
God of War 2 to Hades with you. You're gone.
Or pick GTA.
Boom.
I don't know. Pick something else. It's not like. But if you really care about it, you should put it up
if we're
first.
talking about things that I am passionate about on this list, God of War is the bottom of this 10.
This is what I'm saying. Yeah, I think at this point, to me, because this is our list. This is our Hall of Fame. People could chime in, you know. People can
Our
say
Hall
like,
of Fame.
"I'll give
Make
God
your
of
own
War."
Hall of Fame.
But I think Tony Hawk. Like I don't know. I think it should be here.
Okay.
There you go.
Our PlayStation 2 Hall of Fame. 10 games. Written in stone. No changing. It's done. Is Sly 2, Jack, Shadow of the Colossus, Grand Theft Auto Vice City, Star Wars Battlefront 2, Guitar Hero 3, Gran Turismo 4, Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3, Silent Hill 2, and Kingdom Hearts 2. Tom, what have you been playing this week so people can't change it? Let's get into what we've been playing. It's done. It's over. The whiteout has dried. Tom, what have you been playing over the last little while?
The Whiplash.
Mostly it's been Pokémon Legends ZA. I'm like 16 hours in, and I feel like I haven't done all that much. I mean, I think I've been mostly doing side activities around Limia City. I definitely still am enjoying it for the most part. Like the battle system is really holding it up. Like I played even a bit online, and the online. Have you guys played any of the online in Legends?
There's online?
No. Yeah, there's online. There's online.
No.
And it's interesting. The way it's set out is that the best way to
Are you
describe
battling
it is,
other trainers?
Yeah. But the best way I can describe it is you're not doing one-on-ones. You're doing 1v1v1v1. You have 4 people put into an arena and you have to knock each other's players out or Pokemon out. And whoever gets the most KOs wins. I mean, you all
It's
get
Smash
points
Bros.
based on your KOs. Yeah, it's like Smash Bros. Yeah, it's like a free for all. But I don't think there's any other mode. It's just that. So if you want to do a 1v1, you can't really do that on ranked battles. Um, so it is interesting. Like it is fun, but I also do feel like online is a bit like um you wait for your opponent to whittle down your other opponent's Pokemon and then you steal the kill, basically, with one of your own moves, which feels a little bit cheap. I don't know if I love that about it, but it's fun for what it is. I'm definitely going to continue with Zede, but it's, um, I don't know, the story, not great. The writing, not great. The battles, it's keeping me going. But the other big game really just been Ghost of Yotei. I'm still in the like Kitsune region. I haven't really done too much more story stuff. It's just mostly been exploring that kind of area. But yeah, still having a lot of fun with it. Unlocked some new armors. I got like a ninja outfit now, which
Cool.
is awesome. Especially when it's fully upgraded. It looks like I don't know. Atsu has some really cool costumes. I thought they did a really good job of Tsushima's costumes, but like some of these ones have like kind of knocked it out of the park. They've done a terrific job with that. But yeah, so just chipping away with that, and that's about it.
The act of actually being able to upgrade your armor and have it not just be the number is higher, have it actually
Mm.
look different is one of
Yes.
the coolest things that they've done in that game. We didn't shout it up during the review conversation, but that is like a secret delight of Ghost of Yotei that I absolutely adore. Lauren, what have you been up to? What have you been playing? More Dispatch, episodes 5 and
Yeah,
6.
I've been really enjoying. I'm like living my best life right now, juggling like 3 games that I like absolutely adore that just happened to come out at the same time. But yeah, still going through. Like I'll be like kind of wake up and maybe do a run of Hades too, or a run before bed, and still really loving that. I have gotten past the third boss upstairs, um,
Oh.
and then instantly regretted what I saw after. So that's going to take a while because it's full on up there. And so that's kind of where I'm up to there. On Ghost of Yotei, still like really just taking my time with it. I'm loving having like kind of. I don't really like getting into it just for a little bit. So I would be like, okay, I've got like 4 hours. Let me sit and I just like get carried away by birds and like just trying to like clear everything on the map. So this is definitely like contrasting my experience with Tsushima, which I speed ran. So still loving that. And yeah, Dispatch, 2 new episodes this week, just continues to blow me away. This week was like full of like really like emotional story beats. Like they're ramping up. I can't believe it ends next week with or this week. Yeah, next week with the last 2 episodes. I'm like literally this. I feel like we just got started. So I don't know how they're gonna wrap it up, what kind of conclusion it's gonna come to, but I really hope it comes with some sort of door to like a season 2 or something like that. Because I'm like, I could play this, like I could take 10 seasons of this show kind of thing. It's really, really great. But yeah, once the next 2 are out and they're all out like packaged together, I feel like you guys should definitely get on it. Just like you could get through it in a day, super easy.
It's been fun
Yeah.
watching this step up in player count as every episode has come out. This game, even if they don't have a door to season 2 by the end of these episodes, they will be getting a green light to whatever that looks like very, very quickly, because this game has been a massive hit. Every single week, it seems like twice as many people on my timeline are talking about it.
Yeah, I think they sold like I think they announced like sold like 1 million copies in the first 10 days or something like that. So that's pretty huge for like a first game from a new studio. Um, and I had another point that I was going to make, but yes, I am looking forward to once they're all out. I am definitely going back and then like I'm going to play them as a batch and make different decisions because I don't know, there's just so many different choices you can make and like yeah, this my version of Robert right now is going to be completely different to the one I play next time, and that's like really exciting.
I think this might be a Klein and Gabby game. Instead of we finished
Oh
a
yeah,
TV show, like we don't have any TV happening right now. This could be like hey, let's sit down after dinner and play an episode and make the choices and like do that sort of thing and have it play out kind of like a TV show.
it's good too because like the gameplay segments aren't like super like challenging and the way that they like change it week to week to like match the story. Like sometimes it's like a simple gameplay formula, but it's like okay, and this week there's the extra added element of I don't know, you have to deal with this person on the team, or this person's missing, and so like that kind of slightly changes your approach and how you upgrade the stats of each of the characters. And I've definitely made some mistakes with how I've upgraded everyone. Like so, that really gives it a replayability factor, which is cool.
Tom, you haven't taken the dive into dispatch yet. I know last week Lauren was saying like you specifically need to do it, being the like invincible head. So
Oh yeah.
is that something that's on your radar?
Oh, it definitely is. I think I will just wait for it to all be out. But it's definitely going to be. I think before the end of the year, I'm definitely going to have to check it out. It is just a case of Pokemon Legends today, Hades 2, go see Yotei. I still haven't finished the song. I got to do all this other stuff first. But then I will get to this match though.
You can just treat it like a TV show, though. Like, you know, sit down for 2 hours on a night, and that's it, done. Because that's like how digestible it is.
Yeah,
Is
that's true.
each
So
episode
I'll
an
go
hour?
for it.
More or less, yeah. Maybe it's because you can take longer on certain things, and but it is around about an hour. Yeah.
That sounds perfect. That sounds awesome. All I've been playing is maybe one of the greatest games I've ever played, Super Mario Galaxy 2. I'm finally playing it. Super Mario Galaxy is my favorite Mario game ever, and I never played 2, and they released it on Switch just a couple of weeks ago, right when Yotei came out. Didn't get a chance to. I'm diving in now, and it is just like I thought the creativity in Galaxy 1 was like superb, but 2 they just up it to a whole like different level, adding Yoshi into the mix, and every single planet is or galaxy that you go to, I guess, is just like pouring, just like overflowing with amazing creative ideas. And that's just something I love about the Galaxy games, and 2 has been a lot of fun. I will say to you specifically, Tom Drew, how you could draft the Mario Spring power up is like beyond me. I am playing through this game. I'm doing every star. I am going to a level. I'm 100%ing the level, and then I'm moving on. Except for one galaxy that made me use the spring in a level that I just it's impossible. Like I swear there is no way to do it. There's like this one platforming hallway, I'll call it, with lava on either side, these giant chain
Yeah.
chomps rolling at you, and you're supposed to time the little dumb compress jump you do where you land, you hold down, and you spring up over these things with like 6 consecutively. I can't do it. The timing's impossible. The spring sucks. You're moving around like a slinky. That is like the only knock I have against this game, but everything else is so much fun. It's so colorful, it's so creative. The music is 10 out of 10 fantastic. I've been listening to the soundtrack as I've been working over the last week or so. I'm loving it. I'll probably be done with it by this time next week. It seems like it is quite short. I think there's only like 6 worlds in it instead of the normal 8, and I am about halfway through the 5th at like I think I've only played for like 6
Okay.
hours so far. So I'm like moving through it.
Yeah.
I haven't done any of I think they're called the prankster comets, where they
Yeah.
add stars to levels you've beaten before as you progress. And so I want to go back because I did one of them and I'm like, whoa, this like completely changes the game. But there's just some like the ideas are crazy. I just played one level where you're like sliding down this big cylindrical tube that has sand moving in a direction, and you can move because you're on a planetoid. You can use all 360 sides of
Yeah.
it to like dodge obstacles. And then I was doing this one where you're in 3D and you transition to 2D and you're using gravity where to the beat of the music, the gravity's flipping. So you go to the roof, then you go to the bottom, and then there's some like little sections that are moving that are the opposite gravity of the rest of the room. And you're jumping in those and trying to time it with the music so that you jump in those right as it flips so you can use it like a slingshot. It's just like, I don't know if when they finished Galaxy 1, they had all these ideas on a whiteboard and were like, well, what do we do with them? Let's make a sequel, which is something Nintendo rarely does. They never do this, like, we're going to put a 2 on it. Usually they go back to the drawing board, throw everything away, and go, we're going to come up with some amazing other genius idea. This is just like they had so much, it feels like unrealized potential in Galaxy 1 that I didn't even know was there. And now I'm getting to experience it. And it's just a delight. I love it so much.
Yeah, I'm so glad you're finally playing it. Like, it's just there's so many creative things that they do, especially like even just adding Yoshi in the game. Like, it adds so many different layers to it. Yeah, it is a bit shorter. I think like the prankster comments will give you some longevity with it, and there is, without giving it too much away, there is like stuff you unlock after you beat the main story that
Okay.
like
That
adds
excites
even
me.
more stuff, which is cool. There's also I also won't spoil this, but there is one galaxy in. How much do you know like about the? Do you know much about
Nothing.
like the other?
No, I
Nothing.
don't know any.
Okay.
Haven't seen any of these levels before. I don't know like any of the
Okay.
gimmicks. I really am blind on this game. This is one of like my few Mario blind spots, and it's been fun. It feels like I got the new 3D Mario game that I have been wanting, and
Yeah.
it was just hidden away from me for 15 years.
Yeah, well, there's one galaxy in World 6 that I think you'll really enjoy. It's like it's a bit of a throwback, so I think you'll
Cool.
get a real good kick out of that.
Cool.
So,
I'm hoping to finish it soon because this week is Luminous, and when that comes out,
oh yeah,
everything else is getting put away. This past couple days, I have been sitting like I played the Arcane Eats team put out a new demo, and so I was playing that
oh cool.
on PC because we played
Oh,
that
nice.
at PAX and really enjoyed it. And I was kind of like hopping between things while I was playing Mario, and I'm like, is it Silk Song time yet? I don't think it is, but because Luminous is just like 48 hours away from when we're recording, and so I will be taking the dive on that. But that's basically going to do it for this episode of Controller Club. Head on over to our comment corner before we get out of here. Tom, do we have a comment that we want to shout out?
Yeah, we don't have too much this week, but I just want to shout a little interaction that I saw on our Animal Crossing reel, where we talked about the new Animal Crossing update and like what that could mean for the next one. But at spooky.sticks said in the comments, cries and I don't have a Switch 2. This is 2 peak. Crying emoji, prayer hands emoji. I think just in referring to like the fact that the update looked really cool and they thought that the update was just exclusive to Switch 2. But then at bet2390 replied, the normal Switch gets the free download too. So, and Spooky Sticks replied to that saying, "Oh, I knew that." But just a nice little interaction. Now Spooky Sticks knows that you don't have to get a Switch 2. This is free for everyone to play. So I just thought I'd shout out. A little bit of fun there.
Awesome. This week's comment corner question of the week is: what is your take on the Grand Theft Auto 6 delay? Can't believe that we talked about that on this podcast. That feels so long ago. But yeah, what did you think about the GTA 6 delay? You can let us know in the comments below here on YouTube or over on Spotify. And as always, please follow the show at Controller Club Pod on Instagram and Blue Sky, at Controller_Club on Twitter, and at Controller.Club on TikTok. And as you we're setting up there, Tom, we are on YouTube. We post a bunch of shorts, best of segments, as well as the full show. Please go subscribe, ring the bell, hit thumbs up. It really helps us out. And rate and review us on podcast services around the globe. It really helps out as well. Tom, where can people keep up with you, and what do you have going on in your life?
Yeah, you can find me at Tom Draw, Instagram, Blue Sky, Twitter, basically everywhere on the internet. Nothing much to promote, just stuff on the channel. We just been putting content out. So if you want to check that out, please do so. The Five Nights at Freddy's Halloween Horror Nights experience that Lauren attended got a lot of attention from FNAF fans, so we appreciate that. And if you want to see all the spooks from that, give that one a watch.
I saw the trailer for FNAF 2 finally at a movie the other day. Don't know if I'll be doing this one either. Nope, didn't do the first one.
Come
This
on.
one I was like, I don't know. It's just too scary.
Come on.
What? Okay.
It's too scary. It's too scary. Although I did see weapons and I like that. Anyways, Lauren, where can
Okay, it
people
is
keep up with you?
way less scary than weapons.
And what do you have going on?
Okay.
I saw Predator Badlands this weekend. It wasn't scary, but it was awesome. Lauren, where can people keep up with you? What do you have going on?
You can follow me at lrouse19 on the socials. I just posted like a wrap of all my New York Comic Con coverage, which I think I promoted last week, but it is up there, so I'm just compiling it for all the people. That's my most recent work to promote.
Excellent. And you can keep up with me everywhere. I'm at the Kleinfeld, TheKleinFelt. That's going to do it for episode 178 of Controller Club. As always, thank you so much for listening. Now, let's get gaming.